Okay, good morning or good night, Christian. Good evening. Can you text me? So I'm still in Copenhagen, but I will be back to Vancouver tomorrow. I did go to Tivoly yesterday. Yeah, so my kids, my friend, especially our kids had this wonderful time there. Roller coaster, the big jumper. I mean, they jump from very high place to low place. The kids are swimming excited. Really kind of small Disneyland. We went to Paris Disneyland. It's bigger one and more kind of choices to play. But Tivoli is a nice, well organized playground for kids. And I do find in Copenhagen, in Denmark, the streets are very clean. Streets are very clean. People are taller than Asian people. they're very tall. Anyway, I noticed the difference. Their their design, I mean their architectural design is very good. The the sense of design is kind of everywhere. The chair, the table, the house, and the gardening, and so on. Beautiful place. But now it's kind of like 13 or 14 degree, not as warm as Vancouver. And they speak Danish, totally different from English. Different language system, aside from English, French, you know, and also totally different language from Chinese either. So I have no idea in any word at all. Anyway, so we have been excited. You can wait. Oh, wait back. Go back there again. Wonderful Copenhagen. Yes, actually, wonderful Vancouver or Victoria too. Canada is a nice place. Really beautiful place. I do the mindfulness in the Tivoly. Well, our kids are, you know, in the high. So I noticed I was mindful. I feel the touch of God everywhere. The whole Tivoli was alive. People are talking, smiling, playing, walking, and so on. The whole Tivoli was alive. Like now, actually, even without that external busyness, mindfulness in Tivoli, yes. Mindfulness not only in Tivoli, but now in your room, in my room. So the observer is identical, is same. Yet the external or the objects observed is changing all the time, right? So the never-changing, pure, loving awareness as a background of the ever-changing phenomena world. So it's like two sides of one coin. Very a universal principle can be applied everywhere, to everyone. A coin of two sides, one side, the pure observation, the loving awareness, and the second side, the other side, the ever-changing phenomena, projected world. No matter where you are, who you are, what you are doing, this universal principle can be applied. So These two sides of one coin, the coin, we have a Buddhism term, suchness, tatata. These two sides of one coin of suchness is one coin, right? So once we can feel this, can experience this, can have the wisdom of this, we are in a meditative state. This is the deepest or highest level of meditation. You could call this mindfulness too. So meditation more used as a sitting quietly doing nothing, right? But again, you could not doing nothing at all. You're breathing, your heart beating, you're alive, you're online. The whole body and mind is functioning very well. But now it's kind of authentic, conscious function. It's not biased one. It's not a preferred one. It's really in the flow. So it is not subject to talking or not talking. I'm using words to explain it. It's the functioning of cosmic intelligence. So it's like the cosmic intelligence using my mind and my body to reflect itself, to experience or to know itself. You follow? And you at the same time too. Everyone does. Everyone is doing something or experiencing something, except you're in deep sleep, okay? Even in dreams you're experiencing. And we only talk about human domain, right? The animals, the fish, the birds are all experiencing under this whole network of, or in within this network of cosmic intelligence. It's a whole thing. And our individual body mind, just like a ripple, a bubble in this cosmic ocean of intelligence. But we are not small, even though the physical body and mental mind seemingly small. But we're talking about these greater one. So we are not small. It's very, very funny. Imagine all the 8 billion people can be mindful or meditative at the same time. It's like all the waves in the ocean notice its existence of ocean in the total picture. The whole waves are in sync or meditative or mindful of the ultimate home. It's crazy. And this world must be a very beautiful, beautiful world. Because it must be. It's a natural outcome if you're being meditative and mindful. So you won't hurt, you won't disturb others, you won't, you know, damage the nature. So this remind me, yesterday I said the great learning. I will just paste here a better version of translation by Charles Muller. So remember Charles Muller, I met him. I mean, he's he's a translator of the Sutra of Perfect Enlightenment too. So that's why I find his translation is more kind of real taste of the awakening. So we can go. Yesterday I talked about the great learning, and the translation is not so good. It's from Wikipedia, but here why I'm talking about this great learning again, 大学. So in Chinese it's called 大学. 大学 has two meanings. 大学 means university, like colleges, like Harvard or British Columbia University. So 大学 has another meaning, that's great learning. Actually, in the university, we can learn great things. Kind of very same too. So great learning, in my understanding, is the learning of wisdom. Okay. So wisdom is not worldly knowledge. Wisdom is a abstraction of all the worldly knowledges. We're not talking about how to play piano. We are not learn how to have a skillful, how to say, abilities like ride a car or repair, teaching, or whatever, like a plumber, right? Anyway, we're not talking about these worldly abilities, but wisdom. The great learning is about wisdom. It's like ascended or abstractions from this world knowledge and draw a conclusion that the whole world knowledge has the same universal principle. That's it. We are talking about this great learning. It's the wisdom, and I will try to look into the similarity between the Buddhism and Confucianism. And great learning is one of the four books, the four classics of the Confucianism, right? And also, if we understand the great learning, we understand the Chinese culture, because Chinese culture is deeply rooted in these four books and the five classics. It's a really good way to learn, or even the Asian value or Asian culture. If you look at this Great Learning, translated by Charles Muller, A. Charles Muller, in 1992, July 4th. July 4th. So I tried to use the first sentence. 大学之道，在明明德，在亲民，在止于至善。The way of great learning consists in manifesting one's bright virtue, consists in loving the people, consists in stopping imperfect goodness. So that's much better translation. It's so simple, yet every word has a huge meaning here. So the way of great learning or wisdom consists in manifesting in one's bright virtue. So virtue, our highest virtue is to care, to love, to help. Make sense? That's everyone's bright virtue. But we are doing this every day, actually. We are helping our company. We are, cooking the meals for the kids. We clean the room for the family. And we may volunteer in the community too. We're doing this. We have some level of bright virtue. But to really be authentic and how to say ultimate highest bright virtue is to reach the level of inner stillness. 在明明德. So here it's very interesting. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. The 6 and 7 Chinese character. The 6th and the 7th is two Ming. There's two Mings here, the Ming and the Ming. So this first Ming is, I'll give you an example here. A star, like a sun, is bright, right? Is luminous. So a star is bright and luminous. But that's the Ming, the second Ming. But the first Ming is a conscious star can give bright to brighten others. Okay. So here, consciousness plays a very, very important role. You are serving and loving consciously. You know it's your bright virtue, and you are consciously rendering your service to your home, to your family, to the community, to the company. It's your conscious choice. So that's why there's two bright or Ming here. You're manifesting your bright virtue. 大学之道，在明明德，在亲民。All our knowledge, all our virtue should be applied in helping others, other people, and other animals, all the sentient beings. So this reminds me compassion, the word compassion in the Buddhist teaching. You have that compassion of love, care, help, based on the wisdoms, and wisdoms are based on the inner stillness. 3 steps. First, inner stillness and silence. Second, wisdoms rising from the first. Third, compassion arises from the second, the wisdoms. It's a trinity. That's why I find this great similarity between the Buddhism and Confucianism. So the way of great learning not only consists of in manifesting one's bright virtue to love people. Okay, we should put our wisdom in action. That's a meditation in action too. mindfulness. So mindfulness is a is an action involves your wisdom, and your action to manifest your wisdom, to love, to care, to help, consists in stopping imperfect goodness. 在止于至善 the perfect goodness, the perfect virtue, the perfect service, the perfect love, a perfect beyond perfection, or perfect beyond dualities, good or bad. That's a perfect. Love your enemies. That's the perfect goodness. In your eyes, there's no good or bad, but you just want to render your service because now your understanding, your compassion and wisdom are so deep, are so universal, are so luminous or bright and clear and pure. So you see, I kind of I'm connecting the previous teachings, the previous words with this great learning by Zhengzi. Anyway, by the way, this great learning was written by Zhengzi, one of the top disciples of Confucius. Okay, let's maybe keep on. Any questions here? Great. Yeah. Yes, makes sense. I was writing about something similar earlier tonight. Cool. Wow, you're right now. Great. Thank you. Embodiment of values and outward in service to others. This is all good that you are sharing. Wisdom in action. Yes. Now we even upgrade meditation in action, to mindfulness, to wisdom in action, love in action, compassion in action. Actually, if you notice, there's a Bodhisattva in Buddhism. We call him or her Samantabhadra. Let me make sure I'm right here. Samantabhadra. We'll Google it and send the link to you. Yeah. So here. So this kind of all the connection with different terms in different lineage. I'm trying to do this right now because this is simultaneously in my mind now. I want you to feel the beauty of Buddhism here in terms of wisdom in action. Wisdom in action. In Buddhism, there's a Bodhisattva is the symbol of wisdom in action. So his or her name is, please. Okay, oh, it's not so. Sorry, it's just one. I do use second one here. It's more accurate. Correct here. So her name is Samantabhadra Bodhisattva. A great Bodhisattva in Buddhism associated with practice and meditation. Together with Shakyamuni Buddha and the Bodhisattva Manjusri, he performs the Shakyamuni triad in Mahayana Buddhism. Anyway, so here there's two figures, right? Shakyamuni Buddha the Buddha we all respect, highly respect and pray for. So Shakyamuni Buddha has two assistants or CEOs. Okay, if Shakyamuni Buddha is boss, then he has two CEOs or managers. One is Manjusri. Manjusri is the symbol of wisdom, while Samantabhadra is the symbol of wisdom in action. So these three, Trinity, Buddha, Manjusri, and Samantabhadra, is a total expression of Buddhism or Buddha's teaching. Wisdom and compassion arising from the wisdom. The compassion is you love, you care, you serve. That's compassion. But compassion without wisdom is unstable. That's why I said now there's in the world is so many good-hearted person or people. They're trying to serve. They're trying to. They're doing their serve and service and loving and helping. But if they don't have the wisdoms which arise from inner stillness, they will become the victim of that love and service too. You know what I'm saying, right? I gave an extreme case of the author of the Nanking Massacre. The author of Nanking Massacre, her name, just give me 1 second here. Iris Chang, yes. Iris Chang tried to reveal the history of Nanjing massacre in which the Japanese soldiers tortured Chinese people, killed 200,000 people just in a couple of months in Nanjing city, eastern city of China in the Second World War. And she was so into this investigation and revealed so many terrible details of killing, torture, and she cannot help it, and she ended in suicide. Okay, that's a very extreme case of try to help, yet in the very help we are disturbed and we become the victim, try to bring the justice into the world. So a compassion without wisdom is unstable, is not authentic. I would say that. So Buddha tried to teach us wisdom first. Then from that wisdom, you will arise compassion. And you have this ability, you have this great goodness, okay, a pure virtue, like the great learning 大学 is talking about. Anyway, this remind me, we are comparing the similarity between Buddhism and Confucianism, right? So I just bring you this Bodhisattva Samantabhadra. She or he is the symbol of wisdom in action, while the Bodhisattva Manjusri is the symbol of wisdom. Manjusri first, then Samantabhadra later. If we put in a time zone, okay. let's back to the great learning. So you see, once you have this bright virtue, you want to manifest your bright virtue, your wisdom including the knowledge. Okay, so I am an acupuncturist. I can serve people by putting needles into fleshes. Anyway, it's my type of serving, and everyone can serve the community in a different way. So also it consists of loving people, loving family, loving neighbor, loving your enemy. Consists in stopping in perfect goodness. The compassion and wisdom, the two wings of Buddha, okay, the two wings of flying eagle, wisdom and compassion is the perfect goodness, okay? 至善, the perfect willingness to help, the perfect understanding of cosmos, humanity, and who am I. Once you understand who you are, you will understand who are they, or who she is, who he is, who it is. Then you have the natural compassion and love will arise at the same time. Oneness. You realize you're one with everything, and everyone is one with you. That's the foundation of a universal love. Let's go on the second. We're still back to this great learning by A. Charles Muller. Second is when you know where to stop, you have stability. I will finish a little bit, go on reading. When you know where to stop, you have stability. When you have stability, you can be tranquil. When you are tranquil, you can be at ease. When you are at ease, you can deliberate. When you can deliberate, you can attain your aims. I stop here. Wow, so beautiful. You see, everyone has dreams, desires. We want to do this, we want to achieve that. We all have our aims. Now let's go back on the opposite way, the upward. So when you try to attain your aims or desires or dreams, you need to be deliberate. When you can be before you can be deliberate, you should be at ease. Before you can be at ease, you should be tranquil. Before you can be tranquil, you should be stable. Before you can have the stability, you should know where to stop. Stop, pause, meditate, be mindful. Do you find the similarity here between Buddhism and Confucianism? So beautiful, so beautiful. So all our desires, dreams should be based on the foundation of inner stillness and inner silence. The waves are rooted in the ocean, in the entire ocean, or say water. Okay, every wave is water. So in this metaphor, you back to your pure observation. And your loving awareness has no boundary. It's an infinite big, infinitesimal loving awareness. You are conscious, and your consciousness has no boundary, has no limitation at all. Now the Ouroboros, the snake who is biting his own tail. I'm biting my own tail now. I I am the Ouroboros, Ouroboros, how to pronounce it. And you are too. You are Ouroboros. You are aware that you are aware. You are conscious that you are conscious. Crazy. Anyway, you know you're bright. You know you can manifest your brightness. That's your perfect goodness. And you know all the bright and the manifestation of the brightness is based on your inner stillness, inner silence, is based on the totality. You are total. You are universal. You are a yogi. You are a yogi. Yoga means united, unified. We are a yogi right now. Yogi is not far, that in the temple, in the mountain, in the caves of Himalaya. No. You are a yogi. We are a yogi right now in this moment. Once you notice who you are yogi. You are yoga. You're united with everything else. What you can see, hear, touch, smell, taste, and think. So our previous five senses are limited, but our mind are never limited. Imagine a sun setting. Boom, the red star is in mind. Imagine a red apple, or green apple. Boom, a green apple is in your mind. Our mind is never limited. So let's back to this great learning. We are in the process of great learning, wisdom, compassion, universal principles. So if we continue the third, 物有本末，事有始终，知所先后，则近道矣. Things have their roots and branches. So this is the wisdom of investigation. Okay. Again, we have four wisdoms or five wisdoms. The first one is the wisdom of great mirror. Great mirror, sorry. You are like a mirror. Our mind is like a mirror. You can reflect things outside of you, inside of you, without any distortion. It's not a magical mirror, okay? It's a plain, pure, undisturbed mirror. And it's not undisturbed, it's not disturbable, it's undisturbable. So that's the wisdom of great mirror. The second wisdom is the wisdom of investigation. Okay. You have the power to think, you have the power to understand, to experience, to draw a conclusion. Yet all the conclusions you can let go all the conclusions. It's just a temporary tool or understanding for you. You're untouched. So if I say the first part of the great learning is based on the wisdom of great mirror, the second part is the wisdom of investigation. Things have two roots and branches. Affairs have their end and beginning. When you know what comes first and what comes last, then you are near the way, the Tao, the way, the middle way. So, which position are you now? Are you in now? What coordinates of space-time are you in now? Do you know? Do you have a map of life? Do you notice the red start in the map when you go to a park, unfamiliar park or unfamiliar city? You always have try to have a map, right? So, in the same way, do you have a map of life now? Do you have a map of totality? Do you know your branches and roots? Do you know your end and beginning? Do you know your first and last? So everything is about you. The learning is not about this text. The learning is about you, my friend. Kristen. Everything, once I said, the whole world is you, yet only you play and enjoy. I'm part of you and you're part of me. We are studying great learning. The great learning is part of us now. Okay? That behind this text, the great learning, you read the minds of Zhengzi, the top disciples of Confucius. You read the minds of a sage. Once you're in the same level, you're in sync with the Zhengzi sage, you can read his minds. Your mind is same as Zhengzi now. So you see, I see you, and you see him, and he sees you. That's the power of mind, Kirsten. We are resonating with the great mind right here, right now, because we're talking about great learning. We're talking about wisdoms. Again, wisdom is universal. Zhengzi, the author of Great Learning, is in this ocean of wisdom. And now we dive in to the ocean of wisdom. We are in the same ocean of Zhengzi. So we are not small. We are standing at the same foundation of sages right now. Don't look down yourself. Of course, don't look down others too. Every worldly person have same capability to understand this, Yet some don't know yet. That's all. They haven't discovered the great virtue of themselves. That's all. And we are ahead of them. That's all. Sooner or later, they will know. 10 years ago, I didn't know. Okay. 2 years ago, you didn't know. Now you know. Voila. That's all. Takes no time. Awakening, the sudden enlightenment takes no time. Yet, after sudden enlightenment, you need gradual enlightenment or cultivation to remove all the obstacles in your path of awakening. All the obstacles are illusions. They are illusory. They are fleeting. They are not real. This reminds me a quote from the Master Yongjia, the disciple of the sixth patriarch, Master Huineng. So The Master Yongzha has written The Song of Enlightenment. The Song of Enlightenment, I tried to talk about it 2 days ago, but anyway, there's no listeners, so I pause a little bit. But anyway, Song of Enlightenment, I will share you here. It's so beautiful. All the sages talking about same thing in different perspective, in different terms. That's all. Now I find this. Why I'm talking about this? Because once you notice the projected world you're projecting now is unreal, and all your memories, your background, the sense of wrong self, the false self, is unreal. It collapses suddenly, okay? It collapses suddenly without time. Then you the 52 steps from a wealthy person to Buddhahood collapsed. The whole 52 steps of awakening collapsed suddenly, and you are with Buddha right now. You are the Buddha. You don't need to take that 52 steps. Principally, okay? Principally. Be careful. Be careful here. Yet be clear too. The mind is Buddha. Do you have a mind? Are you mindful? The mind is Buddha. That's the highest teaching from Chan, from Zen. You are originally a Buddha. And to recognize your original Buddhahood, it takes no time. Okay, time and space is your projection. Perception generates a sense of space. Thought generates a sense of time. You are projecting, you're using your perception and thought to create space and time. Once you notice this, you can play it willingly, joyfully, okay? Yet you know space and time is illusion. That's a great learning. No learning is highest than this learning. That's the greatest learning. As we say, 大学. The Harvard University is the highest university in the world, is the highest educational institutions in the world. In the same way, 大学, the great learning, is the highest learning. There's nothing superior than this learning. You are one with everything. You're non-dual with everything. Non-duality is your experience. This is the highest learning. I want to pause here a little bit. I want to taste this yummy spiritual thing or nothing. Maybe we can end this session. I think this is very good end. If you do have any question, please. I will continue this great learning when back to Canada tomorrow. I will maybe. Okay, maybe see you next time. Bye now.